Welcome to Karen Delahunty's Sewing and Knitting Centre, and today we're going to show you how to make a tailor tack. So a tailor tack is a way of transferring all those pattern markings on your pattern through onto your fabric, so that when you take your pattern off you can actually have the markings on your fabric to carry on with the construction of your garment or whatever you're making. And the way you do that is by using a needle and thread, and we'll show you that throughout the video. The pattern's going to indicate where your tailor tack should be made, and it's denoted by these little circles here. On this particular part, this sleeve, this circle here is the top sleeve of the head, and when you sew that together that's going to match up to your shoulder seam. And these two are to denote where it's going to fit into the armhole on the back side of the arm and the front side of the arm, which is denoted by the notches here. 2 notches for a back and 1 for the front. As you can see, each circle is numbered 10, 12, 14 up to 22 on every single one of those. Now that denotes the size, so you've got size 10, size 12, size, whatever size you've cut out. In this case we've cut size 16 here. There's our lines here. We've done 10, 12, 14. We're cutting out a size 16. So we would look for number 16 on each of these to use for our tailor tacks, so that they would match. And thereby being the seam allowance would match as well when you actually go to sew it into the armhole. So having chosen the size circle that you need, which is, again, we've denoted this as size 16, so we're going to pick 16. This is when you start to sew. That represents your garment size actually there. You're going to sew through one of these circles. So to begin making your tailor tacks, you need your pattern cut out. There's the fabric. We're just doing it in calico here just to show you how to do it. A pair of sharp scissors, some needles already threaded. It's a good idea to do that, otherwise you'll be there threading forever. You might as well get a few ready to start, because you do use a fair bit of thread through that. A packet of needles and some pins. So thread yourself up a needle, which I've just done here with this one. Make sure that it's a contrasting colour so that you'll be able to see it when you actually come to join your things together, join your pieces together. And make sure that you've done it so that it is double thickness. So we've just literally done a double thickness there. Don't worry about it being contrasting thread, because it will come out afterwards. These are just literally tailor tack marks, thread marks that will come out after you've matched everything up and you've finished sewing. Having threaded your needle with a contrast coloured thread, and you've threaded it double threaded right to the end, then you're going to take your needle and place it in one of the holes. Now this one we're doing size 16 because we've done a 16 pattern. You're going to start by making a very small stitch in your fabric. So you're going to go in, down through your fabric, so the needles come through the other side, and just make a little stitch so that you come back out. If I turn this over now, you'll be able to see that that's where my needle's going to go through. So when I just pull that thread through now, and you're going through all layers, your paper and your fabric, and you're going to keep going until you've left a little tail of thread like that. Then you're going to put the thread back down in the same hole, so you're using this circle as a guide. So down, and make a loop, but do be careful, just hold your thread like that, sort of taut a little bit, so as you pull it through, so you don't knot it. So down, make a loop. Then you're going to go back up and make a loop. So again, you're still going through this same hole, through there, okay, through the same little circle and back up. Now as you come back up again, make sure again here that your back thread is not knotted, and you leave a loop, and then you cut your thread. Okay, so we take the pins out of the pattern, take the supporting pins out as well. So to remove your pattern from your fabric. Let's do this one. Hold your fabric with your finger and your thumb and just pull your paper away until it's a little bit taut. Then you can release your left hand and go nearer to the paper, but still holding on to the thread near the paper, okay, where your original tail tack went through. Then grab your paper and pull it back just slightly, okay, quite close if you can see that. Bring it closer so you can see it, and then just do a slight little tug, really small tug like that, and then that's released your paper without tearing a big hole in your pattern, so you can use it again. Let me just do this one again. I'll do this the opposite way around this time. So I'm going to hold it with my right hand, so fingers behind the fabric, thumb in the front, pull your paper till it gets taut. Then you can grab hold of your paper and just pull it back a little bit and hold it there between your finger and your thumb. Let go of your fabric because most of it's already sitting on the table anyway, so the weight's been taken. Hold your thread near the paper and just do a little tug and a pull, and there you've released it from your pattern. So now you can see that we've transferred all the markings that we need to from this particular piece of pattern onto the two sleeves. There's two here we've cut because it says cut two, so we cut two, and that means they're all accurate as well when you cut two at the same time as well, and also means that these tail tacks are going to be accurate as well. Okay, so having done all that, we now need to separate both of these apart from each other so that we can sew up two individual sleeves. You open up your fabric at the end and you get to the tailor tack. Now when you get to the tailor tack, you hold your fabric at the edge here and you just pull, and it doesn't matter because you can keep on pulling, but it's not going to come apart because you've got to loop this end and a loop that end. You didn't snip the loops because sometimes that's what people say to do, snip the loops, but if you do, then as you pull it, they're all going to come out. But you see, that gives you plenty of leeway to get scissors in there, or if it's a bigger pattern, to get further into it. And once it's right inside, you take hold of your scissors and you cut into the middle like that, and that's released them, and then that means that they are now accurate. So from the measurement from one end of the sleeve to the other is accurate. This is the sleeve head one because it's red, the one that's going to match the shoulder seams. So again, we do the same, we pull it apart like that, see, and look, because I'm pulling quite hard, but it's not going to come apart, look, it's quite happy to do that, and then you just snip. So sometimes when you pull your tailor tack apart completely ready to cut it, and we've cut it like we have here, it can pull the loop right through so that you end up with a tiny little thread mark there, and you won't necessarily see that when you're trying to join everything up together into your armhole, especially if it's a patterned fabric. So what I do is, what I'm doing here right now is, again, it's another reason I love these pins. These flower head pins are nice and long. You just slide it underneath that loop like that. Look, see how I've just done it? I'm just trying to exaggerate it a bit there. There we go. And then you can just pull gently back, and you can see that by doing that, and then I can grab it a bit further, just gently, you've got it on both sides, look. Same with this one, although this one's still got a bit of a tail, but again, we can do it the same so that you go just underneath there and give a little tiny pull to get some leverage on it, and just pull slightly, and then you'll see on the other side, you've got a loop both sides. Okay, so let me just do that one again on the last one that we're doing here. So this is the other blue one that we did. If we pull that, and again, you don't have to pull it that far, but you see, you can see how far you're going, but when you pull quite tight, it's not going to pull out on itself, and you're not going to lose your tail tacks. You've got to redo it because you didn't snip the loops on the other side. But then you cut that through to release it, and then there's your loop that side, and then there's your loop that side. And if you don't think it's much of a loop, as I say, you can just pull it slightly back. That's why you leave quite a long thread when you do the loops, so you've got a bit on either side. Thanks for watching the video on tailor tacks, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next one.